ITRI, who has the organization which has helped a huge amount in organizing this conference. And Hsiang is going to talk to us on pre-certification of aquaculture, right? Using a knowledge graph to simulate the feasibility of certification. And I'm going to ask you, Hsiang, to explain that to us. And the floor is yours, and looking forward to it. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Ken, and thank you for your invitation to sharing the story that actually we had done 2 years ago, and between 2 years and 1 year ago. And before my presentation, I would like to share a context background to maybe help you to understand what we have done. Aquaculture producers have an ambition because they want a big earning and a longer order from the big retailer. But recently, many big retailers set supplier policy, ask aquaculture producers to pass many kinds of certifications to measure their quality and sustainability. So you can see Walmart, Whole Foods, Target all set that kind of supplier policy. In this story, I think we take BAP as an example. BAP was a very important aquaculture certification. BAP is quite complicated for normal aquaculture producer because they ask every aquaculture's supply chain, from feed to hatchery, nursery to farm to processing, all follow the 5 parts of rules. Like you have to keep your community relationship, you have to prove your food safety, including the feed. You have to prove your product follow the animal welfare. You have to prove that your farm follow the environmental required. You have to prove every record you have done is follow the traceability by BAP. So I think BAP bring a lot of complexity for normal aquaculture producer, because normal aquaculture producer, they actually the production activity has already exhausted them already. Aquaculture production is uncertain production behavior and cannot be 100% predicted. So most of producers spend all the effort to try to minimize the uncertainty and are able to do like kind of heavy paperwork. And second one is no more aquaculture producer, they are really poor on digitalization. So they cannot build software solution to help them to make certification work easier. And the third one is certification is really complicated because every retailer have their own policy. If you want to sell your product to many big retailers, you have to try to pass many kinds of certification as you can possible. So I think there are 3 kinds of pain points to go with the certification. And in this story, behind this story is Kofu Fishery Cooperative, because they want to be a Walmart supplier. But when they try to engage to Walmart, they have bad news from Walmart because they have to pass the Best Aquaculture Practice BAP certification. Let me introduce the background of Kofu Fishery Cooperative. Kofu is probably the biggest one producer in Taiwan. The major product for them is tilapia. Tilapia, you can see the slide, that kind of fish, the meat. And Kofu is a cooperative, so they have I think 245 farm members, and they have many very wide production area, probably the biggest one in Taiwan. And Kofu fishery cooperative have one figure. I think they are well experienced at applying government subsidy program to develop a crucial technology. And the seventh one is they have certificate by TGAP. That's just that kind of certification sponsored by our government. But unfortunately, that's not good enough. So Kohu Fishery Cooperative asked us as a teacher to help them to develop that kind of software. So we as DOIT. DOIT is the Department of Industrial Technology, one department of Minister of Economic Affairs. They have provide technology development program to help the small size company or middle sized company to do the like kind of R&D innovation. We can provide them with some background of research. Okay. Before that, we should know Kohu, they have passed TGAP, but TGAP is quite different from BAP. As you can see, TGAP they ask that every producer should follow the rules on fly, like baby shark. But you can see the BAP, they don't have that kind of rules. For natural disaster, TGAP asks every producer beware of tsunami or power shutdown. But in BAP, they don't ask any producer to follow that kind of rules. And for TGAP, they don't ask producer to follow community relationship rules. But for BAP, they ask very many kinds of terms and article. They ask the producer to follow the community relationship rules. So they are quite different. That's why they are hard to pass the BAP certification. And how we build up the research, the first of all, we try to collect the data from the source of certification. We study all the articles, 222 articles from BAP to try to make our machine, make our algorithm to understand that. And then when produce, we extract the knowledge representation from that kind of article. We transfer in the words and the phrase of certification. And the third one, we try to analyze the data from the field and the BAP. And the third one, we using a blockchain to deposit every data. Actually, they upload to Ethereum platform to make sure the every data in in our database has been deposited on the blockchain. So make sure the data are trustful. And third one, we can provide the report to Kohu and the certification body. And okay, how to train the algorithm? Let me take an example to make you understand. And the first one, we put in all the articles in certification to the B-cert. And the B-cert, we're extracting the knowledge representation from articles in certification. Let me take an example in BAP Principle 1.1. There are actually all applicants should demonstrate interaction with the local community to avoid and resolve conflict through the meetings, committees, correspondent, and such and service project or other activity performed annually or more. But I think Kohu's people, they don't quite understand that terms because that term seems like written for the lawyer or law professional to be understand. So we should try to make that kind of word to be understandable and more easier, try to simplify it. And second one, we got understandable result. and we use the B-cert, make that kind of sentence, community or group communication meeting minutes. Now, this kind is quite a specific one. So we ask Kahoot to provide every meeting minute with their community and provide them. And then the third one, we would like to make a ground truth confirmation with the result from the machine. So we hire a consultancy from the certification body to write down every from their experience, to write down every terms they actually down, what they want, what they ask the applicant to provide. And they ask applicant to provide the meeting minutes, and also they want applicant to provide the social responsibility policies. And then we try to compare the second step and the third step, and to make our algorithm better and better again. And the value of the B-cert is, I think there are two values for the B-cert. The first one is to simplify the complexity. You can see the comprehensive and the practical document management services is what actually B-cert can provide. And we can lower down the knowledge threshold for the certification. And then we can fasten the whole process for certification about 50%, according to the field's response. And the second one, we can make it remote certification trustable. Because this project has done 2 years ago, that was rush hour in the pandemic. So BAP's certification guide, they cannot go into the Taiwan to examine the Kahoot's situation. So we told them we have done blockchain-based data, because every data the Kahoot upload is based on the blockchain rules, so they can check from the backstage database. So that suggestion, I think, persuade them. So they say yes, we can try the remote certification. So we successfully passed the BAP rules. That the first BAP certification Taiwan have done. And we can authorize the certification body the right to access Kahoot's pre-certification data and the document to be actual audit meeting. And I think that's the value of B-cert. But the B-cert was on-premise software for Kahoot, so we cannot share the B-cert's value for many kinds of company if they have the same problem. But we are trying to make the future application. I think the cosmetic might be the next one, because cosmetic have the same question. They have to pass many rules from many countries, and every cosmetic company, they have a very complicated testing result or ingredient testing report. They have to follow many kinds of laws or rules from many kinds of data, and it's not even say they are quite different. So I think the B-cert can do that thing before they try to export their product to that kind of country. I think B-cert maybe in the future can enable two kinds of behavior, both for manufacturer and for agent. Before that, I think they can make an agent to access the status of law for the design cosmetic product, to lower down the risk and lower down the risk to be violate the laws. And on the other side, I think the research can enable new behavior for manufacturer, changing the product design before producing it, or changing or give up the market strategy with high regulatory risk. Okay, thank you for listening.
Okay, thanks very kindly. Thanks very kindly, Shun. Okay, it's a really interesting topic on certification. It has such implications for trade and for prosperity if we're talking local certification, remote certification. I'm sure this is a subject that many people would be interested in. Are there any quick questions? Because we have to move on. Could I possibly ask you if you have any questions to get in touch with Hsiang directly?